Welcome back. The Michelin Man and David are hard at work taking his grill apart in his Vanagon for an AC upgrade that we're going to be doing on this. Stay tuned. It's January. We don't need air conditioning, but we're going to be ready for the summer. We'll be changing everything other than the evaporator core. Lines, hoses, everything. Condenser. Here we got a whole pile of stuff. David sourced all the parts. We have all the side covers removed right now, and we want to drop the evaporator cord down just a little bit because he's got issues with the fan making noise, and plus we have to get to the hoses over here and disconnect them. So let's get this dropped down first. We're going to lower down the evaporator core a little bit. David made these brackets years ago because the original ones had busted off, so we have a jack holding it up here now. We're going to lower it down, and you have to be careful with the drain hoses that come off the side of this. He's actually done this before. I have not, so he's taking the lead on this part of the job. Drain hose here. We have our evaporator core propped up here, able to slide this drain hose out of the little hole. On that side, we have some speaker wires to disconnect, and then we'll get to the lines over here and the other drain line that's running down into there. That's what's holding us up. So we might lower this down a little bit more. This is crazy.
You take the blocks out?
Yeah, we'll pull some blocks out now.
You got those guys.
Yeah.
Why are we still hanging here?
It's hanging on that one, everything on that side still. Let's disconnect a little more here. Hold on. It's just hanging off the AC hoses now. So let's see if we can get these either cracked free or slip it over a little bit more. We carefully pulled the evaporator drain line out over here. Hose is kind of stiff. You don't want to mess around too much with that end so it doesn't break. Now we have enough access in here, hopefully, to get a wrench or two and disconnect these two hoses. All right, we got a 25 millimeter wrench holding the expansion valve here. This is a 24. We loosened that one up, and this other one here is a 17. We busted those free. They weren't ridiculously tight, which was good. Now we should be able to drop this whole mess out of the car. We have speaker wires disconnected, right? All right, now let's get some other wiring disconnected, and then we could drop this thing down. We have the whole wire harness that's attached to it too here, so let's unhook some of this. So basically we're pretty free, balanced on a trash can and some blocks of wood with a jack assist. Here we got all the zip ties over here cut. Everything is loose. Our hoses can come down here now. We got these in the way. Hold on, we got this whole setup here still. We got to unplug all that. Now, the wiring harness for the evaporator core does not. I don't think it has a plug. It comes down to a bunch of other things here. Let's see if we can disconnect it. Otherwise, we're gonna drop it over that way into the car and let it sit. More fiddling. This part's supposed to slide up. This fuse was melted. That's why the AC wasn't working. See that? We're all done. We just put a fuse in and we're finished. Now, that was bypassed years ago because it melted. We got the power feed coming from the car. This is live. Disconnect your battery. We're going to disconnect that. And then there's a couple of screws on the base of this. Right there. And over there, Phillips head screws that should unscrew this whole thing, and then hopefully we'll be able to get it out of the way. 2 Phillips head screws right here that attach that, and then you have the main ground here we got to unscrew. appears to be, I don't know, 10 millimeter maybe. We'll find out. And 2 screws to remove this little box, probably a temperature sender. Get that out of the way. Everything is disconnected here now, except there's another wiring harness that runs towards the front of the bus. And the plug on that was removed because it burnt at one point. So we might have to cut those wires, or we're just going to place this thing down. We'll figure out where we're going to put it. We need it out of the way to get access. The main wire goes to the main control panel, and David already pulled that out, unplugged it, and disconnected the whole thing up here. That's how we'll get it out. And David had pulled all the duct work out that runs along the roof. Angie supposedly built this. Hey Angie, hope you're doing okay. He already did a bunch of repairs on this over the years. Fiberglass here. Oh, let's get this out of the way. David pulled these out really fast because he's done this before. In order to get the ductwork out, you have to start from the front, removing the front panel, and they interlock into each other. So you need to go from the front to the back. This was a recall for VW because the plastic pieces were getting fatigued. That's why he had already fixed them with fiberglass, and then they came up with these brackets at one point. He had to bring the car back into the dealer, and they put those in. That's how you get the ductwork down. We got a new expansion valve to install. We got to pick away all of this sealant that's over here to get these fasteners to turn. Compression nuts, whatever you want to call them. This one and that one. Not a lot of space in here, so hopefully they'll come loose. It's still sitting here on the can. We're going to try to get it out on the table to work on it. We also have to mess around with the blower and the squirrel cages inside here too. Something making noise in there. It's still hooked to its umbilical cord. We got the whole thing sitting on the table here. I gotta pick away at all of this junk over here now. And David is removing all the screws to open this up to get to the motor and blower assembly. You gotta. David pulled out all the screws. How many screws were in this thing? A lot. All around here, here, down there. This is a separate piece. I already loosened up the expansion valve. This fitting came apart pretty easily. That one is stuck, so we have to kind of get this around. We fed extra wire back in over here, the extra wire back in over there, cut this off. There was some glue or something holding the wiring harness down there. We thought the harness melted. It did not. It's just been adhesive from the factory. 1986. Nobody signed this. They don't want to take credit for it. And here's a peek inside. Nobody's been in here since 1986.
You're looking pretty.
Now we gotta check out each fan. There's twin motors. So now we don't know which motor was making the noise. So we'll have to see. What we might do is actually power these up when it's sitting on the bench and listen to them and then do a lot of cleaning. The evaporator core we are not changing. We'll just clean it. There's a bunch of little junk in here, stuff that just broke down. So, a lot of cleaning. There are 6 screws that hold the whole evaporator in, and David got them all out. We have to remove our probe. Oh, it's out. Now we can theoretically lift this out, and then we could get that other fitting undone over here where it hangs off the bench. Now hold on, the wire is attached on over here too. We got to give that a snip. We got a low and zip tie over here. Got to give that a cut. And it's out. Now we can get that other fitting undone here. And this is going to get a thorough cleaning. Ew, nasty. Here is the condensation tray that is supposedly unobtainium. So you have to be real careful when you're messing around with this thing that they don't break it, because otherwise you'll just have condensation water dripping in all over the place. And I don't know how those hoses are, if they're attached on there or slid on there. They are not very flexible, like a PVC type stuff. Kind of a pain to pull out where they go, but this way we could flush them all out, clean everything up before it goes back in. And he could play with the motors. Dual motors, dual resistors. With the evaporator out, finally able to loosen up this other nut that's on here. That was 19 millimeter. The other one is 22, and we're holding this with a 25. Actually, we're just gonna leave this on here for now. And David's gonna take this stuff home and clean it up real well. You gotta get a new blower motor. One of them has a wobbly shaft. Yeah, it's kind of pretty wobbly. Doesn't really spin very well either, too. Let's get a little more space here, look. How's that other one spin? Yeah. Oh, this has got to all get cleaned up also. I'm gonna play with these. Now, this is where we're gonna kind of finish off this video. This gives you an idea of what you need to do to get this down. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. And we'll come back with other videos to finish up the rest of this AC system. Next time we'll be taking out all of these hoses to have them rebuilt. He's going to bring them to a place that's going to cut them off and recrimp on new hose or make new pieces. First, we got to figure out how to get it all out of the car. And they run all over the place. It's all hose running to the front and back. Fun.